Yeah, has to be green. So we just finished recording our answers for the Unit 6, Day 8, Type 3. And now we're going to do notes. All right, everyone needs a highlighter for the notes. Do you guys all have a highlighter for the notes? We're going to start taking notes. You guys need a highlighter? Take a highlighter if you need one. Guys, quietly taking a highlighter. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is highlight these 5 terms. Technical difficulties. I just turned it off and on. Go up there.
Oh, gotta go back to the normal.
Yep. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna reach that, but. All right, guys. Term. Parts of an expression. Now I have to learn to use this. Separated by a positive or negative sign. Sorry if it's a little messy. So parts of an expression separated by a positive or negative sign. Have you guys ever heard of a monomial? Yeah. What do you think it is? An expression with one term. What do you think a binomial is? An expression with 2 terms. What about a trinomial? 3 terms. Okay, factors, the most important vocabulary word. Numbers. Or expressions that multiply, because that shows an expression. I want you to highlight multiply. I can't reach the highlighter, so highlight multiply. Together. To get another number or expression. And I'll move so you guys can get all that down. Good? I'm going to pause you again. Say that again. What are the factors of 6? 2, 3, 1, and 6. Exactly. Because 2 and 3 multiply by 6, 1 and 6 multiply to get 6. So just keep going. Our next vocabulary. Oops. Greatest common factor. Highlight that. Does it work now? The greatest or largest number that divides exactly or evenly into 2 or more numbers. The greatest or largest number that divides exactly or evenly into 2 or more numbers. What is the greatest common factor of 12 and 6? I mean 12 and 18? 6. What will it mean to factor a polynomial? Highlight that. It means to break apart this word. An expression by finding two factors that multiply to the original. In other words, we are undistributing. So we have to get x plus 2 and x minus 4, when we multiply them, we are distributing each term, right? Now, we're going to be given an expression, and we have to undistribute to get the factors of it. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. The first thing I want you to do you want to just do it? Is write for this part. The first thing that you're going to do is look at the coefficients. So write this in at the top of your paper. Look at coefficients first. The second thing is you're going to look at the variables. Okay, so looking at number 1, we have 24r cubed minus 48r squared plus 64. Our first step is to look at the coefficients, so look at the numbers. What is the greatest common factor of 24, negative 48, and 64? What number divides all three of those? Largest number. 8. Now let's look at the variables. Does an r divide all three of those terms? No, because 64 doesn't have an r attached to it. So we're done. Our greatest common factor is 8. Okay? The second one, we have, because the first thing you do is you look at the numbers. So we have 24, negative 48, and 64. The largest number that divides all three of those terms, or that's a factor of, is 8. Okay? We don't bring down a variable because 64 doesn't have an r attached to it. So it doesn't divide 64. The second one, 35v to the 10th plus 20v to the 6th plus 10v to the 4th plus 50v cubed. Just looking at the numbers, what's the largest factor of 35, 20, 10, and 50? 5. Now looking at the variables, we have v to the 10th, v to the 6th, v to the 4th, v cubed. What's the largest variable we can pull out of those 4? So think about it like money. V to the 10th, we'll say is $10. So somebody has $10. Another person has $6. Another person has $4. And our last person has $3. I have to figure out what amount of money I can take from each of those persons, and each of those people, and it has to be the same amount of money. So what's the greatest amount of money I can take from each of those 4 people? That's the greatest? 3. Our 4th person has $3. So that's the greatest amount of money I can take from all 4 of them, evenly. Does that make sense? Yeah? 5v cubed is our greatest common factor. Let's look at number 3. 6a cubed plus 54a squared minus 36a plus 60. Looking at just the numbers, what's the largest number I can pull out? 6. What about a variable? Can I pull out a variable? Why? Because there's no a attached to 60. So this is our GCF. We're going to factor out the GCF. So we have to write what's left over. Okay? So if looking at just the first term, 6a cubed, we pulled out a 6. What's left? A cubed. 54a squared, we pulled out a 6. What's left? 9. Just 9? Do we take out a's? 9 a squared. What about negative 36a? We took out a 6. What's left over? 6. A minus 6a. And for the last term, we have plus 60. We divided by 6, plus 10. Okay? Let's try number 4. Okay. So essentially, we're dividing. So once do you understand how we find the GCF? Okay, so once we find that, we're essentially taking each of these terms and dividing them by 6. 6a cubed divided by 6 leaves us with an a cubed. 54a cubed, a squared divided by 6 leaves us with a 9a squared. Negative 36a divided by 6, negative 6a is left, and 60 divided by 6 is 10. Okay? What? What was your question?
Are you talking about 1 and 2? Or in number 2?
The first one, it was just, the first two were just identify the GCF. So all you had to do was write the GCF. This one's factor it out. Okay? What about for this one? What's our GCF? Write a little note to the side. When the leading coefficient, I'm going to abbreviate coefficient, is negative, factor out a negative. So because this leading coefficient is a negative 15, we have to factor out a negative. So our GCF is going to be negative. So now what would it be? Negative 3. What about the variable? We have an x squared and an x. What's the largest term we can take out of both of those? X. Negative 15x squared divided by negative 3x. 5x. There's 2 x's. We took out 1. There's 1 left over. 12x. We took out negative 3x. What's left? 4. Positive or negative 4? Negative.
Explain how you could think of it with multiplying. Negative 3 times what is negative?
So another way to think about it is, and to check yourself, you know how before it was distributing like this? Yeah. That looks familiar? Negative 3x times 5x, is that negative 15x squared? Yeah. Yes. Negative 3x times negative 4, is that plus 12x? Yes. What? Let's all sit up nice and tall. Everyone? Okay. Five. Looking at just 9, negative 54, and 63, what's the greatest number I can take out of those 3? 9. Can I take out a variable? What am I going to take out? Y. What would go here? Y squared. There were 3. We took out 1. So there's 2 left. What about here? 9 times what is negative 54? Negative 6. We had 2 y's. We took out 1. How many are left? What, 9 times what is 63? 7. We had 1y, we took out 1y. Are there any y's attached to 7? No. Okay. Number 6. We have 28 and 35. What's the greatest factor of both of those? 7. What about for the variable? We have x's. Are we taking out an x and a y? No, because only this term has x's in it. This one doesn't. So do we take out an x? Okay, now let's look at y's. 28x cubed y squared plus 35y squared. What can we take out of both of those for y? Y squared. 7 times what is 28? 4. What variables am I going to write with 4? X cubed. We never took an x cubed out, so it stays. Do I write a y squared? No, because I already took it out. 7 times what is 35? Plus 5. Do I write a variable? No, because we already took out a y squared. Number 7. We have a 12, a negative 18, a 30, and a negative 6. What can I take out of all those numbers? What's the greatest factor of all of those numbers? What about the variable? M, 4, exactly. M to the 4th. Now you guys finish.
Quickly.
All right, who's got it? You got it? Who got it? What's going to go here? 2m to the 3rd. 6 times what is negative 18? So what am I going to put? Minus 3. We have 6 m's. We took out 4. How many are left? 2. 6 times what is 30? 5. We have 5. We took out 4. 1. Negative 6 divided by 6? They gave us 4. We took out 4. Do we put any m's? No. Okay? Yeah. Because they gave us negative 6m to the 4th. We took out 6m to the 4th. So we took out all of the m's that term had, so there's none left over. Okay?
If you had $4 and you spent $4, would you have any money left?
All right. Number 8. What am I going to take out? What number am I going to take out? Any P's?
No.
No. Figure out what goes in here. Tim, sit up. Gilberto, sit up.
A week. Hands down. Nice and tough. Yeah.
All right, who's got it? Lucas. Emmanuel, what'd you get? What'd you get for inside? 7p? 7p cubed, because we didn't take out any p's because 90 doesn't have a p attached to it. Minus 6 minus 6p plus 9. Did everyone get that? Okay. What about for this one? Is that it? All right. Do it up. Who's got it? Yeah, Charlie. Minus 4. Does everyone's match that? Good. Yeah. For which one?
How many P's are here?
How many P's are there? 3.
How many V's?
All right, let's do 10 together. Greatest common factor? 5v. 5 times what is 10? We have 3 v's. We took out 1. How many are left? 2. 5 times what is 20? How many v's are left? 1. 5 times what is 35? 7. Is there any v's? No. Because we took out 1 and they had 1. All right, number 11, try on your own and let me know what you get. Pay attention to the negative leading coefficient. Remember what our little note we wrote. What'd you get? What goes in the parentheses? 5x cubed. Everyone get that? Okay, next one. Next one, what's my GCF?
3.
Do I take out any n's? No? How many? 3. 3 times 5 is what? 3 times what is 15? 15. 5. And cubed. Plus 7. All right, someone else do number 13. What am I taking out? What am I taking out? 2. How many k's? 2 times what is 20? Someone else? 10 k cubed minus 7k plus 4. Okay, last one. Who's got it? What am I taking out? 2xy squared. What am I left with? 2 times what is 6? Just 3 because we already took out xy squared. Plus We already took out an x, and we already took out two y's, and we already took out a 2. So what's left?
Oh, why?
Just a y. Okay? The next page is exactly what we just did in class. That's your homework. Do that whole page. You have 5 minutes to start. And ask me questions.